everybody, welcome back to the Amateur Hour podcast. My name is Jacob. Deshaun is joining me today. What's up, man?
How you doing, buddy?
Today we're talking about Mr. ZO2 Lonzo Ball. Deshaun asked me this yesterday. He wants to know if Lonzo Ball is a bust. And in his third season in the NBA, he's putting up numbers reminiscent of his first season in the NBA. Like very, very similar. Very, very similar output to his first season. In some stats, he's slightly regressed. In some, he's gotten slightly better. But what do you make of Lonzo Ball at this point in his career? Is he a bust, or do you still give him time?
I really hate to label someone as a bust as a third-year player, but the fact that he hasn't shown any improvement to his game,
literally nothing.
He just hasn't gotten better, and I don't know if that's due to lack of health or not the right situation, but I thought he'd flourish in New Orleans. I thought that was
I thought he would be an MIP candidate.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So you look at him and he has the tools and the ability to improve his game. He has, the ability to shoot a jump shot or shoot threes, but just everything I don't know what it is. He's a great defender. He can switch.
He's not a great defender.
No, he is. He is a great defender.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, he is.
He's good at best.
No, he's a good defender.
I disagree. I don't think he's a great defender, man.
No, I don't think you watch him enough. Lonzo Ball's a good defender.
He's a good defender. He's not a great defender.
He's better than the average point guard at defending. That's what Lonzo Ball is. He's better than and everyone knows that. His length, he literally, you need to watch him defend. He's a good defender.
Okay.
100%.
Good defender, not great defender. I said good.
If I had to pick someone to go guard a point guard or shooting guard, I would pick him. He's very good at that. But no, with Lonzo Ball, he's 22 games into this season. He started 13 of them. He's getting around 27 minutes per game, but since he's got back from injury, it's been closer to 22, 23. But his field goal percentage is 38%. His three-point percentage is 33%. And his free throw percentage is literally 50%.
That's horrific.
It's awful.
That's worse than Shaq. And this is a point guard.
This is a point guard. And that's the thing. This is...
Hack Alonzo.
It's awful to see. I don't understand.
It's disgusting to see. Quite honestly, 50% from the free throw line.
As a guard, I think it has to do with the shooting form. Just the the fling, basically. It's just an ugly release too.
Big time.
Yeah, his true shooting percentage is 48%. Which among point guards is one of the lowest. But he's getting 1.3 steals per game, which
his PER is also 11.3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, Lonzo.
Yeah.
Lonzo. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me get in on this. In college, he put up with UCLA in the Pac-12. Put up 14.6 points per game on 55% shooting. 41% from three, but obviously those are shortened 3-point lines. But good numbers. He's not a shooter. He gets to the cup, and that's how he gets most of his points. That's where he gets his real output from. He put up 7.6 assists. He was 6 rebounds. Decent player, a good court facilitator. But are these really the numbers of a guy that is supposed to be second overall pick? You know what I mean?
And I agree with you. I think second overall picks are supposed to change your franchise. I don't know what it is from this guy. When it comes to Lonzo, I don't know if it's, I want to say he's a bust, he's not going to be an NBA player in the next 5 years, but
based on where he got taken, you can label him as a bust.
Do you think he can be a starter in the NBA, or do you think he's just got to be a bench player?
He can be a starter because he's a passer. Colin will continuously say, Lonzo Ball is a passer. He's not gonna get you he can put up just over 10 points, whatever. but he's going to be passive. But you're not really seeing that this year. And I get that he's a core facilitator, but only 5.3 assists this year. He needs to be a guy that's on a great team in order to be, excelling in terms of like his playmaking will not make a bad team better. He can just be that point guard to unlock, not even to unlock, but to give other stars the ability to play. Like, second overall picks this decade have been Ja Morant, like, look what he's doing. Marvin Bagley, that guy's going to get paid. He's a good player. Lonzo Ball. Brandon Ingram, who is just now starting to hoop. D'Angelo Russell, who is as well come into his own in the last couple seasons. Jabari Parker, bit of a bust. Big time bust. Victor Oladipo, huge for Indiana now. Kid Gilchrist, bust. Derek Williams, bust. Evan Turner, bust at 2, right? So in the last few years, you've been getting some good second overall picks, but you want better from your second overall picks. Like, you'd even go into the last decade as well. Hasheem Thabeet, Michael Beasley, Kevin Durant, there's a good one. LaMarcus Aldridge, there's a good one. Marvin Williams, Okafor, Milicic, awful pick. Jay Williams, not a great pick. Tyson Chandler was a good pick. Like, historically, second overall picks do not flourish in the NBA if you look at the last 2 decades at least. And you can even bring it back further, and you don't find a ton of great players coming at the second overall pick. But when you draft that high, you're a lot of times the first overall pick is not like, Zion. It's going to be Zion. A lot of the times it's up for debate who you're going to take first. You know what I mean? So in some cases it's even a first overall pick caliber player, because if you wanted that guy and the other team who went first didn't want him, you're getting arguably the top player in the draft potentially at number 2. You need a guy who's going to be able to turn your franchise around to a degree, or at least be part of the rebuild and a significant part of that rebuild. But what you get with Lonzo Ball is who like a Ricky Rubio?
Yeah.
Stats?
Ricky Rubio stats.
Core facilitator, right?
Yeah.
And we, at this point of Ricky Rubio's career, we know he's a core facilitator. I praise Ricky Rubio in a podcast, the Ricky Rubio effect. Obviously, it's not going well for the Suns at the moment, but you know what you get from him. Whereas Lonzo Ball, especially now he got traded to a better, like a system where he can, supposedly flourish, he is not putting up better numbers. Like, his rookie season, he put up 7.2 assists, and in the last season he put up 5.4, and this season he's putting up 5.3. These are the kinds of stat that is the stat that needs to improve, especially that you've got. I know the Pelicans have been horrid this season, but there's some good pieces in that system where you can get assists. Like, just give the ball to JJ Redick coming off a screen, you're going to get an assist from time to time. Give the ball to Brandon Ingram, you're going to get assists from time to time. I know maybe Brandon Ingram's a little more ISO driven, so not always going to get an assist for that, but like, if you have JJ Redick on your team, two at least a game should be coming off JJ Redick, you know what I mean? So, and the field goal percentage is just disgusting to look at. Like 38% from the field and 33.6 from 3. That's awful. And the free throw percentage is, oh my god, 50%. And that 50%, that by the way, is the highest of his career so far. 50% from the free throw line. In college, from the free throw line, he put up 67%. I do not understand why he cannot transcend that to his game in the NBA. Like, that is not something that changes. You know what I mean? You got to be able to hit your shots. Why can't you still produce? And I think a lot of the hype around him getting picked second was his dad. Like, quite honestly, he did a great job marketing Lonzo Ball, because I watched a bit of UCLA to watch Lonzo Ball in college, and there was nothing tremendously special about his game. You know, he was a good court facilitator, but is this a guy that really needs to be picked this high in the draft? Like, I get, top 10 pick. I get even top, maybe top 5. But second overall pick. The Lakers had 3 second overall picks in a row. And nothing came from any of them for the Lakers. They got D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball in back-to-back-to-back years. What do you think?
I think when it comes to the second overall picks, like a couple when you were naming them this decade, they all needed new situations to kind of prove themselves. Like D'Angelo Russell obviously didn't flourish for them. Brandon Ingram is just now looking like what everyone thought he would look like. And Brandon Ingram was playing with two court facilitators with LeBron and Lonzo last year, and like he couldn't really put it together the way he is this year. I don't know, with Lonzo, like I just don't think his ceiling is that high because of his the ability to create his own shot and his release. I just don't think like
Can't be a sniper.
like Lonzo will never have a season where he puts up 20 points per game. Like it will never happen. He right now, like if his efficiency on the amount of shots he was taking, for example, was to go up to 43%, he would average around like 14 points per game. So
This guy hit his free throws too.
yeah,
Gotta hit your free throws.
So
in terms of getting picked second, you gotta look at this like it's a bust. I know he's 22, and I know there's room for improvement, and I know that New Orleans haven't been playing well this season, and I know he's injury prone, but I mean the Lakers got lucky to get rid of this guy. I think. I mean it's kind of coming away, but it's a cancer having LeVar Ball in and about your business. And I know Lonzo's just now kind of getting rid of that aspect of that baggage that he carries with him. Like he's kind of cutting off his ties with ZO2 and whatnot. But with so much hype around him, maybe that was a factor in this scenario. But not good enough stats. Like 5 assists is simply not good enough for a guy who's supposed to be the court facilitator, supposed to be the playmaker, and I was advocating for him to be an MIP this season, and I didn't have him as my MIP, but I had him as a finalist. And he's not... He went from 9.9 points last season, he's putting up 10.2 right now. He's flatlined from his rookie season. He put up 10.2 in his rookie season, 9.9 now, 10.2 again. And his assists have gone down by 2 a game. It's utterly ridiculous. His steals have gone down every year. His blocks have gone down every year. His turnovers have gone up since his rookie season. His free throw percentages, it has slightly improved. His field goal percentage has decreased from last season. His 3-point has only slightly increased. Like, there is no signs of significant improvement to his game. And even on a new team, I get the Pelicans aren't in a good situation, but your efficiency should not be hindered from your team's incapabilities on offense. That is you. You can put the ball in the basket. You can hit your threes. You can hit your shots from the free throw line, especially more than half the time. Like, it's literally worse than Shaq numbers from the free throw line. I'm going to have to label him a bust. I don't see him ever getting to a point in his career where he is worthy of a second overall pick title.
I have to agree with that.
His cap for me is, like, absolute cap is 14 points a game, 10 assists. But I don't see him hitting that. Realistically, he's a 12 point per game, 8 assist type player when he's on his best days in his career, I think. I don't see him ever getting better than that.
So do you think he's a bench player, or do you think he's like
he's a starter, but he needs to have good players playing with him. Like he can't be a starter on a bad team like this. He's not going to run a team. He needs good players, and he just needs to facilitate the game for them. Make it easy for them to play with him. Doesn't need to have touches. Just, play with like a good forward core. Just flinging them the ball. Play with a good shooting guard. But he needs to have the like a duo with him. You know what I mean? He needs to be playing with...
So if you take Ricky Rubio out of the situation, do you think Lonzo Ball's able to do the same job?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And even helps their backcourt defense because Devin Booker can't defend.
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio is all right, but Lonzo Ball's better than him. So, yeah, that kind of situation. I think even like on the Lakers team right now, if you run LeBron as like a 3 and you run AD at the 4, you can play off them, or even run LeBron at the 2 so he can kind of also be the ball handler, but just make it easy for them, kind of doing what Rondo does. You know what I mean? He can do that job. That's his job, not being a creator, which is what you need from a second overall pick. Your second overall pick is the focal point. You draft late first round and second round for the players that are going to be the facilitators on offense. That's what you get.
I agree. And I think the thing that's really sucks is Lakers literally traded D'Angelo Russell for the ability to draft Lonzo Ball because they traded a point guard for a point guard, and obviously D'Angelo Russell's pick turned into Kyle Kuzma, but like D'Angelo Russell was traded because he wasn't mature enough, but he's a better point guard than Lonzo Ball was. Like I think if the Lakers had D'Angelo Russell, they're in a better, like, I'm not gonna say better place.
I mean, a lot of variables.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables, but they're like, I think that they're a better team. Like I don't think what happened last year where everyone gets shipped out. I don't think that happens.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If they pick another player at number 2, then trading D'Angelo Russell and then kind of what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about a lot about D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell's an inefficient player. He's like high volume of shots to get his point, but he's still more efficient than Lonzo Ball is.
Yeah.
Even though he's inefficient,
it's hard to be.
Lonzo Ball doesn't even shoot 40% from the field. Never mind 40% from 3. This is unbelievable. And especially like I can't get over the free throw percentage, 50%. And Lonzo Ball's never played a full season in his career. He played 50 games in his rookie season, 52. Then he played 47, and he's played 22 of the 30 this season. He's probably not going to get injured. He's probably going to get injured again. He's injury prone. Like, is it down to the shoes? Maybe. Do you think part of the injury problems is down to the shoes?
Well, he's not wearing the ZO2s anymore.
But he was last season and the year before when he wasn't playing full seasons.
You
think it's part of it?
The thing is apparently because they've both been like high ankle sprains that he's had.
Exactly.
That kept him out. But apparently that's because when he was supposed to get surgery to fix it, and he didn't, and that's kind of why the injury keeps reoccurring. The same injury, what's it called? Alan Foster, the guy who obviously scammed like Big Baller Brand out of millions of dollars. He's literally the one. He came out and he posted videos like Lonzo Ball was supposed to get surgery on his ankle. He didn't, and he's gonna keep getting hurt until he gets this surgery. On his ankle.
It's that.
So that's what I think is the problem that keeps reoccurring for him, and why he's not able to kind of figure it out and just get that surgery and get healthy. It's probably what he'll do this offseason. I don't really know. But I think Lonzo Ball, he needs Drew Holiday off that team for him to really flourish. Like Drew Holiday's the same type of player where they both kind of need the ball in their hands to either create or shoot for themselves. So I think that's where kind of some of his assists are kind of not there because it is Drew Holiday's team. So if they ever consider trading Drew Holiday, I think that's a good situation for Lonzo. I think you'll see his stats go up, and then Zion also not being there, like I think that's a guy you can kind of give it to him and he'll get points for you. Like I want to I agree that he's a bust, but I still think that he
has ability in the NBA. But if you look at where he got taken, it's a bust. You need better. You need like Ja Morant. You need Victor Oladipo. You need Marvin Bagley.
But Victor Oladipo took it took him going from Orlando to OKC to then Indiana for him to be a really good player.
Yeah, but he wasn't given the opportunity to be the focal point like Lonzo Ball has been. Lonzo Ball has been given the opportunity to be a great player, and Victor Oladipo was fine on Orlando. Like as soon as he started his rookie season, he was all right, but he started only half the games he played. In the next season, he started every game that he played, and he put up 18 points per game. He was by no means a bad player. He was a good player. He's excelled now that he's been on Indiana, but he was already a good player. Lonzo Ball has not shown signs of being that good player at all yet. And Victor Oladipo also improved himself from year to year, whereas Lonzo Ball has not improved himself from year to year. There is no upward trajectory in Lonzo Ball's ability. You know what I'm saying about this? He's just been the same Lonzo Ball every year, which is the biggest worry looking at his stats. And in some cases, he's decreased in some of these stats. I don't see Lonzo Ball ever thriving on a team unless he's got stars playing with him. And even last season when he did have LeBron James playing with him, he still couldn't thrive as much as before. And maybe that's down to LeBron James taking some of that ball handling away from him, but he's never thrived, and I don't see what's going to change if that's ever. I don't see it ever changing. Again, I'm going to cap him at like 14 points, 10 or 9 assists per game. That's the absolute cap, right? That's all I got on Lonzo Ball. Bust for me. I can't really say anything else. How about you? Want to sum it up?
I'll say bust, but I think that like there's a good chance for him to still kind of develop into what I think he will be. I think he's a bust.
Which is what?
Like I said, I think he's a 14, 7, and 5 type of player.
That's what I said.
That's
what I'm saying.
I think he's able to facilitate, defend well. I just don't think he'll be an all-star. I don't think he'll be a superstar, which is what you expect out of a number 2. So for the position, I think he is a bust. But as an NBA player, I don't necessarily think.
Not as an NBA, as the position in the draft. As an NBA player, he's going to be an NBA player for his career.
Okay. That's fair.
And we'll end it at that. Thank you for listening to another episode of the podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at AmateurPDC. You can subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Spotify, both Amateur Hour Sports. And keep coming back. We post an episode every single day to keep you up with the sporting world.